Ladies and gentlemen, this is for Shoots and Giggles. We're just gonna have a little fun here. Tell me your name and how many years you been doing this, buddy.
Well, the name is the Suicide King Ray Ray, and you literally caught me on a special day because literally today marks 18 years that I have been active wrestling.
Now that might not be the day that we actually upload this, but yeah, we'll go with that.
January 25th.
All right, yeah, that
18 years that I've been doing this.
All right, can you give us a little bit of background on yourself, both personally and professionally?
Well, going personally first, I am 37 years old. I've been doing this, since I was 19 years old, and I've been a fan of wrestling my entire life, mainly because my father wrestled before I was ever born. And, some people may know him, some people may not know him. They're not special. He wrestled all over the tri-state area, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Alabama, Louisiana. He wrestled all over the southern area, basically, not just tri-state. Professionally, I've done the same thing. I've wrestled all over. And for the last, I'd say, good 10, 12 years, I have made Tuckerman, Arkansas, ASWF my home.
Well, you kind of, got my next question in that mix. I was going to ask you, what made you want, and maybe you can go in a little bit more detail, what made you want to get into wrestling to begin with?
Like I said, my dad wrestled. When he retired, it was like 35 years. And just watching my dad perform made me want to do it even more. And then when I turned about 15 years old, my dad told me that he would not train me, simply because he knew what the business was about and, about backstage politics. I'm not going to go into details I don't want to go into details because I don't want it to make it look like I'm talking crap about somebody. But he didn't want me getting in because he knew what it was like it would do to your body. He knew what it did to him, both, physically and, his, I guess what you call relationship life. It's hard to maintain a relationship in this business unless you're lucky, like one of my best friends, Cataclysm. Him and his wife both wrestle, so it's a little bit easier on Neil. But, just following in my father's footsteps. And it was kind of awesome because I had my very first match against my father. So,
well, going into that actually goes into what I want to go in next. Your first match. Can you tell us about not only the match itself, but like the emotion going into it that day, knowing that this would be the first time you stepped into a ring?
Whew. It's kind of crazy because back when I first started training and I started my very first match, I did not like being in front of the crowd because I wouldn't say I was shy, but quote unquote stage fright. Walked out in front of about 250 people, and my heart fell at my feet because, like I said, I wasn't used to being in front of a crowd, in front of big crowds, and knowing that I was stepping in there with my father, and I knew he would, I knew I was safe because I knew he would take care of me. Because, following in your father's footsteps, it makes you emotional because I knew how much he enjoyed doing it, and I knew how much of a fan I was at the time. So actually getting to step out there and live my dream, my dream of not only having my very first wrestling match, but at the same time having it against my idol, my role model, my father. It was pretty emotional. Like, I was shaking the entire time because I was so nervous. But getting in there, pardon my language, I'm trying to watch my language, but I got my butt kicked the entire match.
That's kind of the name of the game, though. Typically most people's first matches.
I'll tell you what offensive moves I got in my first match. 3 punches and a roll up. I threw 3 punches, got beat down, did a schoolboy 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
That was my first match.
Well, let's stay on the concept of matches. And I know you've had a lot over the last 18 years.
Yep.
What would you say would be your favorite match that you've been a part of? Like the actual match itself, not a type, but the match itself.
My favorite match, and this may be a little bit biased, but I would have to say, just because of the emotion behind it, the meaning behind the match, was against my father in his very last match. Because I didn't know he was retiring that night. We went out there, we had a street fight. Simply because after the match was over, he got on the microphone and announced his retirement.
Oh, wow.
And you talking about, I was probably, I want to say 26, 27, no, about 28, when I was in the ring balling like a baby.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't the most spectacular match to watch, I would say, just because, I mean, my dad was 50-something years old at the time. He couldn't do all the flips and stuff like he used to, but just the emotion behind the match, the meaning behind the match, that would make that one, one of my top favorites.
Well, staying on topic, sorta, honestly, who's your favorite person to be in the ring with?
That would have to be between legit 2 people. Cataclysm and Josh Cross. Just the reason that it would be between them two is I know what me and Josh Cross can do. Physically we'll go out there and knock the hell out of each other. Well,
no, you're good.
Crap
You're
out
good.
of each other. And just have fun, entertain the crowd. Me and Cataclysm, we can go out there and both of our gimmicks, where he plays the psychotic, he's the psychotic savior, he's psychotic, where that fits right into with my gimmick, my character, the Suicide King, where you'll have to kill me before you beat me, where it looks like, we make it look like where he's not afraid to destroy me, but at the same time, my character plays right back with, you will kill me before you beat me, like, is that all you got? So I think we play very well off each other.
All right. In all honesty, you've been in a lot of different styles of matches as well. I mean, I know of quite a few recently, but what's your favorite type of match to be in?
Well,
I don't just mean recently, because I know you've had a kick on these Devil's Playground matches, but
well,
like overall though.
Overall, would have to be a ladder match, a TLC. Simply because when I go out there in a TLC, I know I'm usually in there with people that I know can do that style. Just simply because I love the high flying. Yes, I've been doing it for 18 years, and quote unquote, there's a lot of vets that think this new high flying style is killing the business. But personally, I think there's a place for all styles. But at the same time, I love doing, I love the high flying, I love TLC matches, because you can still do the mat wrestling to get your opponent down, but you still have that high flying in there. Now, second, I just had my very first one here recently. I like death matches. Simply because I've always loved hardcore matches.
Yeah.
But I finally got to do my first death match here recently, and it was fun. Wasn't too fond of the lemon juice being poured in my face, because that burned my eyeballs.
And that was with the Enforcer,
yes,
correct?
Yes, with the Enforcer. And, he's always been like a father figure to me since I started running in the Tuckman Newport area. He stepped up and quote unquote became a father figure to me, so much respect.
Well, in all the 18 years, and I keep bringing that number up because that's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
Overall, what would you say is the biggest moment of your career?
Biggest moment. Two of them kind of blend together, I guess, what you say. Yes, I have had the honor to induct my father into the MACW Hall of Fame in Jonesboro. To go right back along with that, I never imagined that I would make it into the Hall of Fame anniversary. But when I got informed that I was making it into the Hall of Fame, I was very appreciative of it because, like I said, I never
Make sure tell people what Hall of Fame, because this isn't associated with any company in general.
Yeah, it's nothing. It was ASW Hip Hall of Fame, which it meant a lot because that's the company I had my very first match with as well. But what made it even sweeter was when I got to the building that night, I was informed of who was inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It was my father and my uncle, Dirty Little Dave, which those are the two that trained me. So when I got to the building that night and found out that they were inducting me into the Hall of Fame, I ain't even lie, I was very emotional.
I remember seeing the pictures.
I was very emotional simply because not only, like I said, did I not think I was ever going to be inducted, but to find out that my father was in, my Uncle Dave was inducting me, it meant a whole lot. It was very, a quote unquote, emotional night.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, my father, not just because of wrestling, but my father has always been my idol, my role model growing up. He's a man's man, quote unquote. He would do whatever it took to, provide for his family. And he gave me, in my personal opinion, he showed me what it was to be a real man. So with him supporting me and getting me into my dream, it meant a whole lot.
Well, I've got my base questions here, but I do feel like I want to kind of go off base here. Something that hasn't been addressed. I hope I don't get too personal with this, but you are one of the few, or at least before here recently and all, one of the few openly gay wrestlers.
Yes, sir.
How? And I know from what I understand, your father was very supportive overall. Yes. How did that play into your career overall, with the support of your dad, but then also with how you were treated in the business in general?
When I first got into the business, it was before I came out. I first got into it, I was married to my ex-wife. And when I came out, me and her, we got divorced. And I came out really gay in the business. And I've told other people this. I was fully expecting me to lose my career. I was fully expecting me to lose the one thing that I love. Because what a lot of people don't realize either is a lot of people doesn't know wrestling, legitimately saved my life. Before I got into the business of professional wrestling, I was really addicted. I was really a drug addict. I was addicted to drugs. And with my father, he told me the only way he would actually train me is if I at least attempted to get clean. And when I showed him that I was, sorry.
No, you're good.
When I was showing him that I was attempting to get clean, he helped me realize my dream and live my dream of being a professional wrestler. And when I first came out, I was really expecting to lose my career. And with the way my family was raised, being gay's wrong. When my father told me he accepted me, that showed me true love. And then when I came out in the business of professional wrestling, and I came out in the locker room, surprisingly, I did not lose anybody. I was accepted with open arms. And to this day, I have had one person in the business, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to start nothing, refuse to wrestle because I was gay. That night I walked up to him and I was like, look, bro, with all due respect, I'm not here to sleep with you. I'm here to entertain the crowd and do what I love to do, which is wrestle. Which is to put on a show. We went to the ring, had a really good match that night. We walked back to the locker room through the curtain. This gentleman looked at me, shook my hand, apologized for acting the way, quote unquote, his word, acting the way he did. And to this day, we have stepped in the ring many times and put on heck for show every time. That just goes to show me that no matter how much hate and homophobia is in the world, there is still love in this business. There is still people in this business that are willing to accept you for who you are and not judge you by the person that you love, the person that you love, and they are there to judge you by your in-ring work.
Well, let's move on back to the lighter note. Didn't mean to get too personal.
Oh no,
with
you're
that,
good.
but, yeah.
One thing is, to me, if I can tell my story and help anybody, that's what I'm here for. So, I've actually had a couple people come to me and tell me, with me being openly gay, me being one of the first openly gay people in this area, that it not inspired them, but let them know that it was okay to be yourself. And if I can do that, I've done my part of that.
Well, let's talk about, this is kind of a two-part deal, your biggest influences in wrestling. Let's start off though with, like, say, big stars. Like, what wrestlers influenced how you portray yourself in the ring?
Now, with that, there's a couple of different ones. If you go back and watch my matches, you can tell different people have influenced me. Of course, one of them being my father. But like big stars. One of the best that I love to watch is Ric Flair. And the way that he's influenced me, of course, chopping. The way he worked the crowd. Whether he was, good guy, bad guy, heel, baby, he could hold the crowd right there in the palm of his hand. If he was heel, he would, quote unquote, make them hate him. If he was baby, they would want to see him fight back and beat that bad guy. Cactus Jack, Big Foley. Of course, my hardcore style. The high flying would be Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy. Just simply because they was not afraid to take that risk. I've had body injuries because of watching them, but at the same time, if it wasn't for them, I would not have been willing to take the risk of knowing what moves. Let me rephrase that. I would know what moves I think look cool. What moves I think, well, I want to try that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Well, being with that being said, what local guys would you say heavily influenced your career?
When I first got into this area, into the Newport Tuckerman area where ASWF is based, when I first came to the area, it was in a company called WFAC, Wrestling for a Cause. When I first came to the area, I was doing a lot of ground wrestling, a lot of mat wrestling. Keep crazy. When the first time I got in the ring with him, he showed me the high flying. He's been doing it 20 years. He showed me, he taught me the high flying style. Now, like Josh Cross is one of the top high flyers in this area. He may not look it, but that's what FBF means, Fat Boy Flying. You go out and watch one of mine in his matches, and we do a lot of ground work because we both like the brawling style just as well. But you go back and watch some of our matches, we do a lot of high flying. So I would have to say it would be Kid Crazy, Josh Cross, and then I'll throw this one out there too, the brawling style too, but the man can still get down to mat wrestle would be Cataclysm. Just because, he's probably right at 6 foot, maybe taller, maybe shorter, 6'2", something like that. I don't know. I know he's taller than me, and I'm only 5'7". You'd be surprised. Like tonight, he done a suicide dive at 6'2", and I've seen him get up on the top rope and do a whisper in the wind. Granted, he was in a cage, holding on to the cage like this, but he did a whisper in the wind and landed on all of us. And forgot who it was. I think it was Shane or something. Insane Shane. What a boost. Yeah, crap happens.
Well, in all honesty, though, what motivates you to keep doing this?
This is going to sound like cliche, whatever you want to call it. There's a couple of different reasons. First, I get to hang out with some of my best friends. Locker room. And there's a couple of different reasons. A, I love the business. 18 years, I've had back surgery. I know I'm not going to make the WWE, TNA, Impact America, whatever it's called now, because of my back. If I can pass what knowledge I have to the younger generation and keep this business alive, that's my job. That's my goal. One of the cliche part is whether I'm heel or whether I'm baby. If I'm heel, to make that crowd hate me is my goal. I'll feed off that. But one of the best things is when I'm a babyface and I do a high flying move and I see a kid's face light up, that makes me happy. That makes me know that I'm still doing my job at 18 years in the business.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap up, but I got a couple more things real quick. I gotta hear, what's your favorite road story? And remember, there might be some kids watching, possibly.
18 years is a lot of them. Well, I'll give you two of them. Me, Josh Cross, my ex, Josh's wife, and Mark Wolf. We're headed to somewhere in Tennessee. Somewhere over in Tennessee, Mississippi, somewhere. We're driving down the interstate, and traffic jam. 18-wheeler to the right. There's a kid in this 18-wheeler looking out the window, in the camper, the sleeper. My ex, the dummy that he is, holds up a sign, "Do you need help?" And I look over and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I read the paper and I'm like, "Oh my God." Because it's not something you expect. And the paper says, "Do you need help?" And you can see my ex, Malvin, "I'll call 911. And I was just like, oh my God, we're going to go to jail. Second, Oklahoma, Mississippi is one of my favorites. And I've told Cataclysm and everybody. It was when I was running with MVC. And we were in Oklahoma, Mississippi. It was me, Idle Bane, and Big Vicious running, as MVC, Miracle Violence Corporation. And this building is literally in the middle of nowhere, and it's like filled. Ooh, there's a building. That's where we're wrestling. And we get pulled in. We pull in. I'm like, okay, ooh, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna probably have maybe 10 people max, you know. Been in shows where there's the largest crowd I've ever wrestled in front of 9,000 people, down to 5 people before, you know, whichever one. Legitimately surprising. There was about 100, 110 people in this building. So we go out, we do our thing. They bring us in to Rough Shot. When I say Rough Shot, they wanted us to leave every babyface lane. From the wrestler, to the announcers, to the commentators, you know, referees. They wanted us to leave them all late. So we go out, we're rough shotting everybody, yo, kendo sticks, chair, whatever. And I'm arguing with this man, and he's like, I don't care, I'll whip your, yeah, da da da. And I was like, you know, arguing with him, and this woman stands up with a baby on her hip, mouthing me. And I'm like, look, I understand, calm down. It'll be alright. The buffet opens back up at 10 a.m. She's still mouthing. I was like, look, you keep on, my daddy taught me never hit a woman, but I'll beat the hell out of a dog. And I hear, I'll cut you, you son of a pew. I turn around and the man's got this knife pulled out. And who do you look for? Security. Not security guard inside. Couldn't find out they had no security. Yeah. And I'm like, I am literally going to die in the middle of nowhere. And just luckily, thankfully, my tag partner, Big Vicious, was there. You know, he's a former Marine.
Yeah, I met him. He's a pretty intimidating guy.
I turn around and he is literally nose to nose with this man. Says, if you pull that knife back out, I'm going to shove it up your ass. And have you ever met Eric Wayne?
No.
Okay, Eric Wayne is one of them that will take it to the limit, doesn't care. You know you went too far or you got the good result when Eric Wayne walks over and goes, all right, guys, it's time to go to the back. So we go to the back. Come to find out, we go to leave. There sits the cops. This crowd has legitimately called the cops on us because we left everybody late.
Wow.
So the cops was like, do these people know this is wrestling? I was like, apparently not. And come to find out, the reason they called the cops is we didn't know it. We chair shotted the referee. Referee Gig. So referee is bleeding everywhere, and I'm literally thinking, okay, we just killed this man because I didn't know. I thought we busted, you know, hitting like right back here. They called the cops because we busted the referee open. And I was like, you know what? That tells me I did my job.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more, but like you said, might be some kids watching.
Yeah, let's keep it. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it a little bit PG.
All right. Your thoughts on wrestling today compared to when you started? You could say the constant argument that I've heard going on. You know, old school versus new school or whatever you want to call it, but like basically wrestling from when you started as compared to now.
Wrestling when I started. And I'll use WWE as an example on this to start off. Vince McMahon changed the fans, the public, whatever you want to call it, view on wrestling when he announced it was entertainment. He changed that perspective. But at the same time, people wanted to make, quote unquote, make it more believable back then. You still have some people that do today. With that being said, yes, there's a lot more high flying, you know, nowadays than there was back then. But at the same time, with the show that I helped run, what I love about, I'll call them my crew guys, is we have every style of wrestling. My thing is yes, it has been what quote unquote evolved, where there's a lot more high flying nowadays, but you still there's still a place for the mat wrestling, the grappling, the brawling like they used to back then. But at the same time, to me, there's a place for the high flying.
Pretty much, there's a place for every style.
There is a place for every style, and you've seen some of my matches. I like to do every style. Do I like one style more than other? Just a little bit. Because that's what I love to do.
Okay, that sounds like the heater kicked on, so you might have to talk a little louder, but...
Sorry. With that being said, there is a place for all styles in this business. Now, will I do 5 Canadian destroyers in one match? Probably not. Why? Because I'm fat and old now. But yes, I have done. I've been in a match where there's 2 Canadian destroyers in one match, but that was the finish. But at the same time, there's going to be people that don't like that. That's their opinion. My opinion isn't going to change their opinion. I respect it, but at the same time, when certain people want to say there's no place in wrestling for certain people, certain styles, that's your opinion. Get over yourself. You're not the only one in this business. Just like some of my favorite crowds to be in front of is ones that love all styles. There's some people in the crowd that love grappling. There's some people in the crowd that love high flying. Give them a mixture of both. I'll leave it on this. If you have a show that is nothing but mat wrestling, nothing but holds, nothing but, one style, you're going to bore part of your crowd. In my opinion. If you have a show that's nothing but high flying, there are some people that's going to get bored. Give them a variety. Have fun with the crowd. That's what we're here to do.
Well, as a final thought, final question or whatnot, I know you are a part of the ASWF training program. You're
Yes.
one of the head trainers.
Sure.
And, to leave off on, I want to know, what advice would you give to young wrestlers or aspiring wrestlers that want, or aspiring kids that want to get into wrestling? What advice would you give to them?
My advice would be, take it serious. With that being said, my advice would be, take it serious. And I hate to say it like this, but I've seen it happen. Try your hardest. Don't come in there, pardon my language, don't come in there and half-ass it. Because I have been in situations where I've been training somebody and I can tell that they're just giving it half of it. You are taking the time of, you're taking your trainer's time. You're taking anybody that's willing to help you time. You're taking that up where they could actually be working with somebody that wants to do it. To go along with that, when you have a vet that's in this business, I'm not just saying about me, anybody that tries to give you constructive criticism, tries to give you advice, listen. There's some people out there that actually want to see this young generation succeed, to make it. And yes, granted, there's some that just want to be an asshole. But at the same time, listen to the vet, and with that being said, be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you who to be. Be yourself. Have fun. And live your dream.
Well, Ray, I do appreciate you sitting down with us for nearly 35 minutes here.
Wow.
But, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all again for watching. This has been 4 Shoots and Giggles.